Hello Olivia, my lovely. I hope that you are well. And here I am, as promised, giving you a feedback on our process. So it's officially 5 weeks since we started this process, but I will take away, obviously, I will include it anyway. It's been 5 weeks since we started this process, and we have consistently made progress on a diet that is 100% based on mindful eating and applying the principles of what you knew about diet before. Now, I have to make this very clear that in the past, you were someone who used to track macros and used to follow a meal plan, and you have a lot of awareness about, not a lot of awareness, but you do have a lot of awareness about macronutrients, what is carbs, what is fats, what is fiber, what carbs are better taken depending of the time of the day, etc. However, because it was 2 years in which we took a break, because the first half you were pregnant and the second half is only normal, and I highly encourage for all you pregnant ladies not to force a diet or starting a diet until you feel that you are in the mind space to do so. So now, since we started the process, as I say, we have lost 3 kilos, but the most important things and the most beautiful things to notice about this is just to see how small changes, and as I say, applying these principles of a knowledge that you did have but you were not applying, makes such a big difference. Now, I want to highlight the fact that you knew your macronutrients and how they work, because if we were trying to apply mindfully eating or intuitive eating when someone does not have much knowledge about macronutrients or what is protein, what is carbs, what is fats, then that person very likely is going to be very inclined to intuitively eat pizza, because if you don't know the foundations of what pizza is made of, or if you don't know the foundations about nutrition, then it's really hard to actually tell someone to intuitively eat. Now, we discussed in the past of getting back into tracking macros as an option that if we want to avoid, because we don't want to bring more tracking into your life. You have done it enough in the past, and tracking is a tool that I use for people to have awareness of what they are eating, but not so much as a tool that you should rely on. So it's very common also to see that when people get used to tracking, then it becomes an obsession, and I don't want any of my clients to fall into that trap. So we are doing everything, and we are covering any area to make this process as smooth and as less stressful as possible, and also enjoying, because we need to kind of like change the concept about diet. Diet actually comes from a Greek word, and it used to mean a lifestyle, and obviously with all the diets that have come along the years, the word itself has got a really bad relation or correlation meaning. Like, people will think that diet means that you have to be miserable and not enjoying the food. However, what we have done with you has been an amazing job. So I'm just going to quickly retake you here through what we started with. So this was when I first asked you to send me the screenshots of what you were eating on the days. Back in here, you were not very much on kind of awareness of what you were eating, as you were kind of sharing everything with Phoebe. And as I explained, maybe bringing food into your mouth because maybe if you wasn't having that food and you didn't want it to throw away. And I also explained in the past video how this could very slowly sabotage your own goals. Also, what we notice in here, or the main things that I got you to take some notes on, were that we were not going to have a liquid calories. I know that this was an unsweetened tea. or you didn't remember back in then when I asked you. And then obviously this is what we were having on a normal day. This is when Andy, so your partner, started to have more nutrient-rich dinners, but you were still having your normal way of eating during the day. So after seeing a week of you eating out, having the orange juice, not having much greens on your meals, because I remember I celebrated this bunch of tomatoes here. And although this process itself was already giving you the hint to kind of control yourself and be more mindful of the snacks that you were eating, also more mindful of the food that you were eating when eating out, the actual shift really happened after the feedback that I gave you. This was you showing that you only had one slice of pizza after a night out, which you would normally just eat it for the sake of just finish the whole pizza. So that was already an awareness that we started raising when doing this original food diary. Still, we were having way too much chocolate on a daily basis, and we were on that week particularly, we were having just too many drinks, and chips, and things just went out of control over the weekend. But even though we had all of this freedom and all of this food during that week, because we were doing just this exercise, we managed to lose some weight. And as you were going through the exercise, you started getting my cues of celebrating some greens around your food. Now, the second round around doing this food diary has definitely left me super satisfied with the process and with the change on your behaviors. This was still the first round that we did, and from here very soon is that we are going to start. Sorry, I just downloaded this. Actually, from here is that we started the new way of eating. So in here, you started your week with your oats with protein, blueberries, and your coffee. Then we had tuna salad with pasta and some greens on it, a banana as a dessert. Then again, we had just the coffee with just a splash of milk, very little milk, no sugar. We were having fruits for snacks, and that was actually the last days. When is it that we actually started? This is where we actually started. So this is here where we actually started the second round of your food eating. So we started with protein and carbs in shape of fruits. So as I explained to you, we were going to build your meals around protein and having a lot of greens for lunch and dinner, and fruits for breakfast, because I know not everyone likes vegetables in the morning, but you can have the option. So fruits, a lot of greens and fruits, as I explained. And so this is, and also I explained that we were wanted to have just 2 coffees a day, and any other hot drink that we were going to have around the day was going to be without sugar and with almost non-existent milk, not to spike the insulin, and to do our best to reach the next meal without having to snack in between, just for a matter of controlling the glucose in the bloodstream, okay? And the responses of insulin, and how these will then trigger less hunger cues, etc. And as I said, I was giving you feedback every day on the things that went well, and the things that I wanted to highlight on things that we could improve. For example, as I mentioned to you before, when having fruits for snacks. So let's say the space between. Although I said that we don't want to have a snack in between meals, if you know that the space between lunch and dinner is going to be too long, I will definitely want you to have some snack so you don't get overly hungry to your dinner, and then you might just end up overeating at your dinner. But when that happens, again, we want to make sure that we're going to have some fruits, and with some fruits we want to also have an extra portion of add a portion of nuts, which we actually not having much nuts in your diet, and I would love for you to add those nuts. The reason being is because any type of nuts, so remember that nuts are mainly everything besides peanuts and cashews. Those are considered legumes more than nuts. But the reason why I would like you to add one portion of nuts a day, whether that is walnuts, almonds, those are my two favorites, but you can also have pistachios, you can have or even flax seeds on your smoothies, chia seeds on your smoothies. So chia and flax seeds, they really need to be just like a teaspoon, because they are very high in calories, but they are very good in terms of omega-3s, fiber, and they have plenty of properties. But don't think that because they're too good, it's the same with nuts. So they are very good source of magnesium, potassium, fiber, protein, some carbs, etc. But they also very high in calories. But the magic happens when we actually have it together with the fruit that you're gonna have for a snack. As I explained to you in the past, in one of these chats, or when we were analyzing this, if you only have the fruit as a snack, you might find yourself being overly happy later, because the fruit, if we consider the fruit, is only gonna be kind of like a sort of sugar, and that is going to have a faster spike on the insulin that if you would have, let's say we're going to have an apple, but we're going to have 6 to 12 almonds with it. The 6 to 12 almonds might not get you very full as you are eating them, but later on when your body is breaking down those foods, it will make you feel fuller for longer, all right? So that will be the first thing that I would like you to add, which will be a portion of nuts a day. So make sure that a portion is a portion, because it's very easily to overeat on nuts. Now, with regards the sugar, after, as I explained to you, having the dessert last thing of the day is also a very wise way of having your sugar treat. First, because like this, you make sure that you have that you fill up your diet with most of your with the things that you actually need to eat, and we only have the sugar at night. Two reasons being, as I explained to you, when we eat sugar such as chocolate earlier on the day, we will be more likely to crave this sugar during the day. Instead, if we just have it at night, we can treat ourselves to think that that is our dessert for the whole, our treat for a whole day of eating properly. And second thing is that it wouldn't trigger wanting more sugar in the day. Now, something that we did really good in here was finding out options for the treat so you can actually enjoy it, because we discovered that the first day maybe the 2 pieces of chocolate were not making you as happy as the 2 rice cakes without chocolate. So we kind of compare the 2 products, and the calorie wise it was the same content, but society-wise, it was not. Something that I always encourage people is whenever you're having shakes, or whenever you're having something like this, try to add some crunchiness with it, because not only you need to satisfy your hunger levels, but you also there is a very close link on feeling that anything that you chew will make you a lot more satisfied than just having the chocolate or just drinking a smoothie. Okay, so